You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion. Delivered by conflicting media reports. We connect the dots so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events. Most of all, thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We have a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. But before we get into our intriguing content today, please join me in welcoming our featured guest. Welcome back, Dr. Bill Janeshak. Hello.
It is always a pleasure to be here with you. I can't believe I said that.
I'll pay you later.
Is this recorded? This is recorded?
That is recorded, and it will be a clip that'll be out in social media everywhere. Hey, let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you. And you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are operators standing by.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
While I do have a great team when it comes to developing a financing plan, a plan to save you money, I personally work with you, even if you don't have any needs today. Save this number in your phone for future reference. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And, of course, we're celebrating today. I'm going to take a mulligan on that one. Today's National Mulligan Day. Old, bald, heavy guys that need 2 knee replacements are not out there. You probably need more than just one mulligan. You need a lot of them. But I have beaten anorexia. Today's National Pasta Day. I like pasta almost any way that you get, as long as it's cooked. It's not cooked, probably not for me, but I love pasta. Let's move right along and see what's going on in the world today. Let's see. Dow Jones Industrial Average is up 120 points. The S&P is up 12. The NASDAQ up 10. Oil's down 43 cents a barrel. And do we even want to look at what's going on in interest rates? Yeah. 10-year Treasury's up 10 basis points. It's going to be fascinating to watch and see what goes on. But I'm going to talk about that in just a minute. Gasoline prices, $5.59 in the formerly Golden State. That's the average right now, $5.59. And it's because, I know Gavin says it's just because of the oil companies. And apparently the oil companies like Louisiana better than here. Why do I pick Louisiana? My tremendous underwriter Lori is in Louisiana. $3.12 a gallon of gasoline.
Ow!
Yeah, compare that to us at $5.59 a gallon. The oil-producing state of Hawaii, $4.79 a gallon. $4.79. Josh, they're the same in Hawaii as you're paying there in Nevada. Think about that one. Unreal. Thanks, Gavin. But hey, you know something? We can just thank our fellow citizens because we keep voting for this garbage. And what do we get? Okay. Speaking of voting for garbage, I can't make this stuff up. This stuff just comes to me. It comes across my desk at various times. Are you ready for this one? So think about this. The Department of Labor forgot about $5 billion.
Such an idiot.
No, I didn't say 5 million. $5 billion. They forgot about it. It's leftover taxpayer money for COVID relief. $5 billion. It was meant for the first week of unemployment benefits. $5 billion. I mean, I know I'm repeating myself, but when you're looking at $5 billion and they just forgot it was there, and you wonder why we're $33 trillion in debt. Now, I did go and listen to the economists from UCI. Yes, I'm a Chapman guy, and I went and listened to the economists from UCI. They had a Chapman faculty member there as well. And they said, oh, don't worry about the debt because it's all relative. When you look at the debt compared to the GDP, it's not so bad. $33 trillion. And how is our president gonna help us with that? You got to love this one. So I'm not a Ron DeSantis fan, but what does Ron DeSantis do? They're sending airplanes to Israel to bring back U.S. citizens. No cost to the U.S. citizens. Now, the Biden administration, they'll send an airplane from the border, the U.S. border, anywhere in the country with illegal aliens, and they get a whole stack of benefits and freebies and whatnot and admission to the United States. Yet our citizens that want to come back from Israel, they have to give the government an IOU for the cost of the plane trip. Does that make sense to anybody? Now, we're going to give Ukraine $6 billion. We just found $5 billion at the Department of Labor that we didn't spend. And we want our own citizens to pay to come back from a war zone. I might be missing something here. I don't think I am. But where do we come off with doing these kind of things? Where's the logic in this? Now, I would have thought, okay, well, you know something? The president says he's going over there tomorrow. Again, you know, whether you're a fan of President Biden or not, when you're going to a war zone, do you want to advertise that? I would just, you know, Israel is not like, it's not like California where you might land in Northern California or Southern California and there's hundreds and hundreds of miles in between. Israel's not that big of a country. And you bring in this big 747 or maybe 3 or 4 of them and the other planes that are coming and you want to advertise that and you're going to sneak in. I mean, do you think Hamas comes out and kills 1,300 Israelis and, I don't know, 30 or 40 Americans, and they think it's great? Obviously, we know they're a bunch of idiots. Could you imagine what a feather in their cap it would be? I wouldn't even want to think about it. I mean, it's so horrible. You don't even want to think about things like that. Why advertise that? I mean, if the president's going to go, fine. We know it's a publicity stunt. But if he's going to go, fine. But do you advertise it? It's just a little bit baffling to me. Unreal. Speaking of baffling to me, and I'm easily baffled. The stock market today, the bond market today is going crazy. And I'm watching and looking at what's going on in interest rates. And I'll talk more about this in the Mortgage Minute. But the mortgage-backed securities are down 55 basis points. That means interest rates are up. Why did they make such a big jump today? Well, can we turn back our clocks to the Trump administration for just a minute? It's called fake news. So retail sales increased, they claim, by 0.7% in September. They were expected to go up by 0.3%. Here's the big news that you're not going to hear anybody at place but on Ron Siegel Radio. That's a seasonally adjusted number. Seasonally adjusted. I'm not sure exactly what season you have in September, but it's seasonally adjusted because this is September data. If you look at the raw data, retail sales were down 5%, not 0.5. They were down 5. And we're being told retail sales are great. Now, if it's up 0.7%, I just want to throw this out there. A portion of that is called inflation, right? So no one's buying anything extra. They just have to live. And costs have gone up so much. But the media won't tell you that. You only hear that on Ron Siegel Radio. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, your own hero's journey. I wonder what that's all about. Whenever Dr. Bill comes in, we don't know. The path to fulfillment. How buying a multi-generational home helps with affordability. How to find and compare debt consolidation loans. And stress relief. Yeah, I'm talking about stress relief when Dr. Bill is here. Financial and physical. We'll talk about both of those. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Your home and mortgage connection.
Hey there, friends. Wondering if now is the right time to buy a home? Or are you waiting for a bunch of foreclosures? The facts speak loud and clear. Defaults and foreclosures are down, sure. We might be headed towards a recession. But did you know interest rates typically drop and real estate values often go up during a recession? So what are you waiting for? Higher prices or higher payments? Don't navigate these waters alone. Connect with RonSiegelRadio.com today. That's RonSiegelRadio.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Every day at this time, OBMMI, they provide the most comprehensive, accurate, timely, and interactive analysis of pricing ever conducted in the mortgage industry, calculated from actual locked rates. They don't tell us points paid, points received, APR. They tell us actual locked rates with consumers across 42% of all mortgage transactions nationwide. These are the rates from yesterday. They will be higher today. 30-year conforming, 7.598, up a bit. 30-year jumbo, 7.643. That was down quite a bit. 30-year FHA, 7.283, up. 30-year USDA, that's the rural areas, generally no down payment, 7.468. And the best loan on the market, I'm sad to say, it was up yesterday. 30-year VA loan. Can't just apply for this one. You got to earn it. 7.273. And if you want our commentary each morning, it's usually 1 to 2 pages. And I put it out as early as we get it every business day. rsrmarketminute.com, rsrmarketminute.com. So now let's see, now that we've talked about what happened yesterday, let's take a look and see what's going on today in markets. Well, we've got the S&P 500 is up 14.92. 10-year Treasury is up 10 basis points, 4.81. And we've got the 30-year mortgage-backed securities are down 55 basis points. Why? Well, I told you a little bit earlier about retail sales. So those numbers came in. And again, we looked at the number came in at 0.7%, stronger than estimates of 0.3. Core retail sales, separating out gasoline, autos, building materials, rose 0.6, which was also well above the estimates. Market is clearly focusing on the headline beat. The internals show that the consumer has shifted their spending more to necessities and less to discretionary. The consumer is spending on things like food and autos, surprise, surprise, but not spending on as much on goods like furniture, building materials, electronics, clothing, sporting goods, not spending there. Core rental report, this CoreLogic's rental report, that's a biggie. And a lot of people don't understand this one either. CoreLogic reported that rent prices rose 2.9% year over year in August, which is down from 3.1% in the previous report. Latest CPI report showed that shelter costs rose by 7.2%. And as always, I say it to you.
You know better than that.
Yeah, it's not really 7.2%. That's a fake number. That's looking at what happened 6 months ago. If we look at what the real-time data is showing, not just our guess, but the real-time data, it's showing that it's overstated by about 1.9. That would mean that core CPI should be at 2.2% instead of 4.1. Guess what the Fed wants it to be at? 2. So we're just about there. We'll see if the lawyers win. The lawyers want to raise rates. The economists say that they don't want to raise rates. And that's all members of the Fed. So you got to wonder who's going to win that battle. Industrial production and capacity utilization in September rose 0.3%. Industrial production in September rose 0.3. Okay, guess it doesn't take into account any of the strikes, which was above the flat reading expected. Capacity utilization, which measures the capacity of factories, rose from 79.5 to 79.7, above the estimates of 79.5. Another negative, because when a factory's utilization is higher, it can pressure prices higher, although it's still beneath 80, which is good. That's the Mortgage Minute, brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make the call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Let's chat today. Our friend, Dr. Bill Janeshak. Now I understand he's an award-winning chiropractor right here in Yorba Linda. Welcome, Doc.
Well, thank you, Ron. It's all, like I said, it's always great to be back here. We always have fun
It
together.
is what it is.
So, what's this award you got?
Yeah, you know what? We were honored, and I'm humbled and honored. We were named the #1 chiropractic and integrative medicine clinic in Orange County.
What does integrative medicine mean?
So integrative medicine is we kind of go beyond nutrition. We'll look at the science. We do a lot of blood tests, stool tests, neurotransmitter tests. We really go into a deep
I
dive
could
into
imagine
chronic-
you'd be doing a lot of stool tests. I'm just throwing that out there.
It's a little crappy job, but someone has to do it. But it's actually getting into chronic disease. Typically traditional medicine, they do great with saving lives and everything. With the chronic stuff, which is
I've never known
90% of
anybody that's gotten through it forever.
You know what?
Save lives
There's
for-
a 0% survival rate on that.
Exactly.
But people that are trying to live, and when you have brain fog and pain and constipation and diarrhea and your feet hurt and you can't do anything,
That came from my COVID vaccines, didn't it?
Well, yeah, yeah. Oh well, this is Ron Siegel Radio. We could talk about anything.
Exactly.
Well, you know what? Actually, you're correct, because the toxins that are built up with not just that, but just living life and people picking up the toxins, it builds up in the body and it starts to break things down. So all these things that people are calling, well, it's normal, I'm getting older, like this, are actually chronic diseases. And when people they know they're not living right and they've had enough, and they're not, you can't go to a large local HMO and
Well, they're on strike.
oh well, they go out and they keep giving pills that don't work. They come to an integrative medicine clinic. So it's chiropractic.
Okay, so that's what it is.
So we'll do them like that, and we and 95% of the stuff that we do is, there's no medicine involved. I do refer people out for medicine because sometimes people need that, but it's a very deep, holistic, and really good results.
I
Really
laugh a
good
lot of times because, not funny, but I've got some friends that are battling cancer, and I've told them, one of the things that you shared with me years ago was, you go to a doctor, a traditional doctor, and they give you a pill, and there's they have to give you a pamphlet now because of the side effect list.
Yeah.
And then they give you another pill for the side effects, and you get a pill for the side effects. Right. And they're talking about this. And I said, one of my friends recently, and I don't know, I'm not a medicine, I'm not a doctor or anything like that. I said, but I've had friends that eat ginger chews, and it helps with their nausea, and they don't need all the medicines that have all the side effects.
Yeah, and if you look at it, so this is Ron Siegel Radio and finance. So think about it like finance. If somebody has a hard money loan that's coming due and they need cash out now because the wolves are at the door and everything else, they're going to get these crazy loans because they just need it. It's not good for them. That's not good financial planning. That's just like medicine. Sometimes you just need now, no matter what the cost is tomorrow.
Right.
But come tomorrow, if you take another crazy loan and another one, people are doing the same thing with their health. They're getting one pill and they're taking another pill and they're going in the wrong direction.
That's amazing how that, how long ago you told me that. And it's just so true.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. It's over. And now I saw on some social media, and I've never checked it out. I've never even talked to you about this. I probably should. Is that there's actually a antibody to get the COVID, that mRNA, out of your system. I don't know whether it works. I don't know if it doesn't work. I don't know if you should do it. You shouldn't do it. I know what Robert F. Kennedy Jr. will say, but I mean, you just wonder about some of these things.
And I'm not sure about that specific one, but here's another thing is that it may be true. I don't know, but we are getting so much research. Our knowledge base is so quick nowadays that when you run into a big system like a large local HMO, they have criteria and they have protocols that they follow. They can't pivot in a moment and say, hey, this new research came out, let's try this. And when I'm trying it, we're taking vitamins and herbs and stuff like that. Very, very little side effects, if any, and they're rare. But we can see if they're working. We can do the test, and we can do it in good time. So
well, early on in the pandemic, my bariatric doctor said, up your vitamin D.
Yeah.
It wasn't a matter of vaccines and this and that, and knock on wood, not like tested very often. I don't think I tested ever, but I didn't get any of the symptoms of COVID. Maybe before anybody even knew what COVID was, we think I may have, but maybe the nutrition might have helped. And I'm obviously not physically fit. I'm not a model child.
No.
But so one of the things that right now I want to chat with you about, Doc, is a big problem I see, and I know you deal with it all the time. Is right now we've got families divided over politics, which is stupid. They're not showing any respect to one another. We've got finances that are hurting. We've got people that are with jobs that are hurting. The stress level is going out of this world.
Yes.
Unfortunately, the divorce attorneys are going to be very busy, in the next quarter. What can we do about some of this stress? Because I know you've dealt with that so much.
Disassociate first to start, because, and this is when in my office, I treat under what I call the stress model. Stress is physical, it's chemical, and it's emotional. And the body doesn't know the difference from any of those. They're all stresses, and the body will create. They basically pucker. So if I punch you in the face, that's going to be one level of pucker. If I spray you with, a neurotoxin, or I shoot you with something vaccine or something that's going on, or you just eat crap, those are chemical stresses in the body. Then there's the emotional stresses. If I just say, well, Ron, your show sucks, and I make you feel bad, maybe I give you a mean tweet. But
mean tweet. I'm used to mean tweets.
But the body still reacts the same. It feels like it's under threat. So if you're having these conversations, or you're not comfortable where you're going, you're under stress. So if you can disassociate a little, because sometimes when you're in fire, everything's kind of crazy. But
then he's saying when you disassociate, if and it's not the case, my wife and I are fighting over finances and things like that. Am I supposed to disassociate with my finances or my wife?
Your choice.
Okay. I
know your wife. She'll find you. So, but and it's not like ignore it, but just take a step back and take a deep. If you're in the fire, just step back till you just can feel the warmth and kind of get your thoughts back. But the other thing is move. We sit so long. The number one deficiency, in my opinion, is movement. Movement is not just like levers and pullers in your body. It changes the chemicals in your brain. You hear a runner's high, and
I've read about that. I've never experienced.
Well, it looks good on paper.
Although something I will admit that I do feel better on the weekends when I go out and walk on Balboa.
Yeah. So now
and you've even told me about wiggling my toes in the sand.
Yeah. So
we're going to talk about wiggling your toes in the sand when we come back. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. Wiggling your toes in the sand. We'll have to remember that one. How buying a multi-generational home helps with affordability today. How to find and compare debt consolidation loans. All that and more. Reach me anytime. Off air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Are you like many of your neighbors trying to figure out how to pay off your debts so you can retire someday? Build bigger savings. Invest in opportunities. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Debt will destroy 50% of Americans from being able to retire earlier and with more. What if you could have a guaranteed program that could show you how to eliminate all of your debt in 10 years or less, all without having to spend more each month than you spend right now? Yes, that's correct. All without spending more from your checkbook each month than you are today. Get your free analysis today to see if you qualify. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Log on today for your free analysis. rsrnodebt.com. No purchase necessary. The free analysis takes only 2 minutes. rsrnodebt.com. Ron Siegel Radio is your home and mortgage connection. Go to rsrnodebt.com. rsrnodebt.com.
Are you paying rent because you cannot afford to live in your dream home? Are you paying rent because you don't believe you have the down payment funds to purchase your own home? At Siegel Lending Team at ronismylender.com has up to $25,000 to help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. Contact the Siegel Lending Team today at ronismylender.com. Again, ronismylender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037. ronismylender.com.
Homeowners over the age of 62 are taking back financial control after retirement with reverse mortgages, and the Siegel Lending Team is here to help you use it to your advantage. Call Ron Siegel with Geneva Financial to receive your free information booklet with no obligation. The booklet answers all your questions, and the best part is you still own your home. Call Ron Siegel at 1-800-306-1990 or visit ronsiegelradio.com.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. ronismylender.com. Again, ronismylender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. Great app. Lets you monitor your credit scores, bank accounts, asset accounts. You can monitor your real estate, see what the value is of your real estate. It's got 4 different valuation models on there. 3 of them are good. Plus, we give you Zillow as well. And there's 97% of the properties that are available on the market across the nation, not just local, are all right on there. rsrmoney.com. How buying a multi-generational home helps with affordability today. In today's world of rising housing costs, many buyers are looking for ways to still be able to buy a home. Some of them have found a solution in multi-generational living. Multi-generational living is when 2 or more adult generations live together under one roof. This includes siblings, parents, or even grandparents. Here's an in-depth look at why more buyers are choosing this option today so you can see if it might be right for you too. Reasons to buy a multi-generational home according to a recent study by the National Association of Realtors, NAR. The top 2 reasons people are opting for multi-generational homes today have to do with affordability. And if you're watching us on ronsiegelradio.tv, any of our socials, or the ABC News and Talk AM 1490 video feed, you're seeing a chart of this. Cost savings, about 28% of first-time buyers and 11% of repeat buyers are deciding on multi-generational home to save on costs. By pooling their resources, households can share the financial responsibilities like mortgage payments, utility, property taxes, and maintenance to make home ownership more affordable. This is especially helpful for first-time home buyers who may be finding it tough to afford a home on their own in today's market. More space. Another 28% of home buyers are first-time buyers, and 18% of repeat buyers are doing it because they want a larger home they couldn't afford on their own. For some of the repeat buyers who listed this as their main motivator, it could be because they find themselves taking care of older parents while also welcoming back young adults who've returned to the nest. That's a bad one. While with everyone chipping in and combining their incomes, suddenly that big dream home with more space is within reach. As the Triangle Business Journal explains, quote, choosing multi-gen living allows people to purchase a home much larger than they could afford on their own by leveraging the combined income, credit, and a down payment of those that will be occupying the home with, unquote. Lean on an expert. If you're interested in this too, partner with a local real estate agent. I know a few of them. Finding the perfect multi-generational home isn't as simple as shopping for a regular house. That's because there are more people with even more opinions and needs that should be considered. You've got to make sure everyone has their own space, find room for shared household time, and possibly even create adaptable areas for older relatives. It's a puzzle, and the pieces need to fit just right. Your real estate agent has the expertise and local knowledge to help you find that home where everyone can be comfortable without breaking the bank. As moneygeek.com puts it, quote, having a good multi-generational property can improve the prospects of success when living with loved ones. A multi-generational home should fit the specific needs of most family members, regardless of age or health. Speaking to a real estate agent can help you gain clarity and locate a fit, unquote. Bottom line, buying a multi-generational home can be a smart way to tackle some of today's affordability challenges. When you team up to share expenses, you can make your dream of home ownership more attainable. If this sounds like an option, you can call 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. That is the Real-Time Real Estate segment brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. Continuing our conversation with the award-winning Dr. Bill Janeshak, our local family chiropractor, and been a longtime friend, so I appreciate you coming in and sharing with us.
Well, it's always fun. You know what's interesting about the multi-generational thing? That also decreases stress. If you think about having those loving relationships inside your, well, if it's a real loving relationship, depends if you're with your in-laws or not. But you think back in the day when it was normal for families to multi-generations to live together.
It makes a lot of sense.
And you share chores, you share traditions. Grandma would teach the kids how to cook and bake, and you'd tell stories about the family. And there's more time just to be a family. We don't settle down. We are always going. Like as I said before about disassociating, it's because we're always doing something. You'd think with all this technology that we'd have more time to just kind of chill out, but we don't. We just add more stuff on our calendar.
More screen time.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I'm gonna go back to something that we started talking about before, and I kid about this in a tongue-in-cheek way, because the Angels spent, I don't know what, $300 million to get Albert Pujols to come to the Angels.
Oh God.
Whatever it was a boatload of money, and half the time that he was with the Angels, he didn't play, or maybe not half, but a good portion, because he had a problem with plantar fasciitis.
Yes.
And I had a problem with plantar fasciitis. Now I don't get paid $300 million on a 10-year contract or whatever, right? Whatever the number was that he got. And I don't play baseball, but it hurts like heck.
Mm-hmm.
And, so I figured, okay, what am I going to do to get this resolved? So I called my chiropractic friend, and part of the treatment was wiggle your toes in the sand at the beach.
Mm-hmm.
What the heck why did that help?
So
because it did.
Yeah, it helped. And this is one of the things, and this is with what do I do, the integrative stuff that we do. We are not just levers and pulleys. So when I had you do that, the movement of the joints blocks out pain. The texture of your feet on the sand stimulates a different area of your brain, because you didn't feel pain in your feet. You felt pain in your brain. You perceived it in your feet. And there's a whole neurological connection about, because your butt muscles were not strong enough, that was influencing
I sit on there a lot.
Exactly. But that was influencing the feet and the way the plantar fascia works. You have fascia all over your body, and it's a neurological tool. So you have to treat it holistically. So that wiggling in the sand, there's a couple of things. When you put your feet or your skin against earth, and this is for all you hippies out there, you can either say we're at one with the world in peace and harmony, but this is the science portion of it. The Earth is a giant magnet. The magnet gives off negative ions. Negative ions are anti-inflammatory and healing, and they calm you down. This is why when you go walking at the beach, that you're calm and you feel good, and your mood elevates. This is what they call grounding or earthing. But
I'm on concrete. Does that matter?
Well, you're still around. You're still picking up. There's the mist of the air. There's the smell.
Right.
And you have something else called the optic flow. So when you're walking, your subconscious is seeing things walk by you, and that's a different stimulus. You don't get the same effect when you're walking on a treadmill. So
I do notice that there's a better stimulus a little later in the day. When I'm there early in the morning, there's nobody there. The views later in the day are a little bit better.
Yeah,
but that'll get me in trouble.
Mindy, just turn the mute on.
There, that's it. She always mutes me. So then, being that I've got a lot of knee trouble, should I be, wiggling my knees in the sand then too?
So just by continuing doing your feet and your ankles will affect your knees and your butt, because it's just like, you're a simple man, Ron.
Absolutely.
So we're going to make the foot bones connected to the leg bone's connected to the
singing on Ron Siegel Radio.
There you go. Thank you all.
Thank goodness he's not an award-winning singer. He is an award-winning chiropractor.
But that's the same thing. It's the whole body will affect your ankles and knees. The healthier your feet and your ankles and your hips are, it's automatically going to make your knees better. Now, if that joint is just like blown away, maybe you need a knee replacement. Maybe you need two. Maybe just
that's what the MRIs say. But hey, what do I know? I'm just So what is this you type? I saw in the notes the path to fulfillment. What is that all about?
That's the hero's journey. Have you ever heard of the hero's journey, Ron?
Never heard of it.
So it's very. You know what? I'm gonna challenge you. Yes, you have.
Okay, I have.
You just didn't realize it. Hero's journey is what they call the monomyth. There was he was an archaeologist and a mythologist called Robert Campbell, or Joseph Campbell. I'm sorry, but he studied all the cultures and the stories and the legends and the myths. And he said, there's a central theme that happens. And this has happened to Moses. This happened to Jesus. This happened to Buddha. This happened to Dorothy from Wizard of Oz. This happened to Luke Skywalker. This happened to Rocky. Whenever you're inspired by a transformational movie, they are taking the hero's journey. And he's broken down the steps over there. I use that for myself, because like when I'm going through crap, I'm like, well, yeah, this is the hard part of the journey. And then on the other side of this, because most of us, when things get hard, we turn around and we curl up in the corner and we cry and we say, why can't I do it? Because it wasn't easy. But if in this part, if you're going to go through something hard, then you're going to meet somebody else. And you finally come through with that transformation. So I was sharing it with our friend Joe Ingram and his brother Frank Ingram. And we run a little seminar business called One Life Productions, and we said, let's do the hero's journey, and that's what we're doing.
Okay. So how would somebody go about going through this experience with you?
So we're currently doing some recording with some pretty well-known entrepreneurs and authors who are talking about their hero's journey. We will be releasing this. You can go to onelifeproductions.com, and when that comes out, we're probably looking at early November. We're going to be releasing that in 8 episodes. And it's so that you can see yourself in maybe some of the stories, and you can resonate with something. You're going to go like, okay, so I'm not the only one going through this. And if I continue down this journey, it's like anything else. If I'm going to send you to, well, I wouldn't send you to LA, but if I sent you to Vegas,
okay,
and you
know, Josh,
and okay, well, we're going to go through Barstow, and that ain't so great. And from Barstow to Pahrump, it's going to get hot. Even if it was bad, but you knew it was supposed to be there, that it was normal, you keep on going. If you got there and you go like, I don't like this, and what's that big thermometer doing out there, you might turn around. So this gives you the roadmap of whatever you want. And it could be weight loss. It could be a new job. It could be, a new relationship. There's always changes. But if you want a better version of yourself, this is the path that I've found is easiest to take.
Sounds pretty interesting. We're going to have to watch for that. So it's coming out in November.
It's coming out in November, and maybe me and the Ingram brothers will come back on, and when it's ready to go, and we'll.
I'm not sure I can handle you guys.
Oh, you can, but if anybody will have us,
that might be a challenge. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events, financial markets, and stress with Dr. Bill. You can reach me anytime. Off air number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Hey there, friends. Wondering if now is the right time to buy a home? Or are you waiting for a bunch of foreclosures? The facts speak loud and clear. Defaults and foreclosures are down. Sure, we might be headed towards a recession. But did you know interest rates typically drop and real estate values often go up during a recession? So what are you waiting for? Higher prices or higher payments? Don't navigate these waters alone. Connect with RonSiegelRadio.com today. That's RonSiegelRadio.com.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Your Credit Matters segment today, as usual. We're going to push this off, not till tomorrow, because we've got the millennial and the old man tomorrow. So we'll probably try and get this in on Thursday, how to find and compare debt consolidation loans. But I will tell you, under the Your Credit Matters segment brought to you by creditsanitizer.com, right now there's like 2 ways that we're looking at. We're helping a lot of folks with financial stress. One of them is a debt consolidation home loan. I know interest rates are high right now, but now is the right time to do it. Go to rsr2step.com, rsr2step.com, and you can actually see a whole presentation on why now is the right time to do that debt consolidation loan if you've got some equity in your property. And most people, if you own your house more than 3 years, you've got a lot of equity in there. rsr2step.com. Now, while you're doing that, you might want to be looking at your credit scores, rsrccpayment.com, rsrccpayment.com. That helps you pay your credit card bills the right way for our FICO scoring purposes. And lastly, we've got the debt settlement program. If you don't own real estate, but you've got a lot of credit card debt, the debt settlement program that we introduced last week, we're starting to get a lot of calls on that one. So we'll put that segment down in a workshop, and I'll have a code for you for that soon as well. But if you've got credit card debt and you don't own real estate, give me a call. I'll put you in touch with the guys for that as well. That is Your Credit Matters, brought to you by creditsanitizer.com. You have a credit report and it's wrong. What are you doing about it? Let's continue our conversation. We are chatting this morning with Dr. Bill Janeshak, your Belinda Family Chiropractic, award-winning Dr. Bill.
Yeah, don't forget that.
And you know something. So you know, if you were smart, Doc.
Well, okay, now you're pushing the limits of media.
Yeah,
It is what it is.
So you know, you could have helped the Angels out a lot.
I don't think so. I've been an Angel fan my whole life.
Yeah, me too. So
I got a bad feeling about this.
Yeah, and they just find a way to lose.
but I mean, from a health standpoint, you know, with you hear about so many of these guys, and that plantar fasciitis, that hurts.
Yeah, it does. But they can have access to the top physical doctors, trainers, chiropractors, body workers, and stuff like that, and even some medicine and stuff. But there's no reason for it.
But here's the issue that I have with that. I had this conversation yesterday, and I'm hearing a lot of folks that are in the real estate and mortgage space right now saying, you know, there's no inventory for sale, which is true, and real estate value and interest rates are up, which is true. And so we just have to work harder. And I said, well, I don't agree with that, because I could go to the gym and instead of doing 2 sets of curls on my legs. I can do 3 sets, and my biceps are not going to get any bigger.
That's true.
Right? So the angels have access to all these doctors, but if they're not providing the right vehicles, they can do all they want, but it's still not going to help. I mean, you had Albert was out for 6 months, and you had my plantar fasciitis gone in, I don't know, a month.
And remember too that, and I don't think this will become a shock to the listeners, but Albert Pujols was in a little bit better shape than you. And like I said, everything else.
Surprise, right? I mean,
just a little. But he's an athlete. There was something they can go through an evaluation, and there's no miracle cures. That everything takes time. But you could have cut that. You stop the aggravation, you fix the problem, and you give it time to heal. And there's things that you can do that are natural things that will accentuate the healing. They'll make it even bigger and better and stronger and faster, just like the $6 Million Man.
That CBD roll on you,
man.
And the CBD roll on you gave me, didn't you?
Yes, and the CBD roll on. Thank you, Justin Benton. Yeah. But there's a whole bunch of things, but they don't invest. Why is Trout always hurt? Why are these people always hurt?
I don't, something. I'm not the scientist here because I can't even spell science. I'm a simple guy, and you look at it, and from a simple guy's standpoint, you say, okay, it doesn't make sense because they do have the best of the best. But they've also gotten bigger and stronger, and they're doing a lot more things that maybe the body's not meant to do.
Well, that is true. And the Angels also have a unique history of buying people on the back end of their career that aren't healing.
Yeah, you can't say that with Trout, though. I mean, he came up in the system, but that's a whole different story. Let's get back to our stress issues because we don't have a lot of time left. But what are some of the things that we can do? I mean, doing a little exercise, I think, helps from what you said.
Do frequent exercise, and the high intensity exercise is going to be your best friend. But
what is high intensity exercise?
This is the one where you just don't want to do it, where you can't catch your breath and your legs hurt. This is where you're moving like I want to quit now. Your heart rate is high, your muscle activity is up, and you're straining and you're doing everything.
Now, do you have to work up to that, or can you start doing that? Because it sounds to me like I'm going to have a little heart problem here then.
So here's the great thing: it's your high intensity exercise. If your high intensity exercise is fill the tub, pull the plug, and fight the current, and your heart rate is up and you want to quit and like that, that's your high intensity exercise. You're going to get a certain benefit. If you're going to get, an athlete, they may have to sprint for a mile and with 40,000 pounds on their back or something like that. But you only need 12 minutes of that a week.
Wow. A week.
A week.
And my phone will probably tell me if I'm at high intensity right now, right?
Your brain will tell you. It'll say, "Ron, stop! What are you, crazy? You don't have to do
Mine
this."
Mine says that now.
You're a radio all-star. You don't have to do all this hard work. But it's pushing yourself through that intensity. Here's the benefits of exercise and movement. That's when you get hormonal changes, brain chemistry changes, and muscle growth stimulation. All the other six-pack and biceps and stuff like that comes on, that's separate. But if you want really good benefit, it's 12 minutes a week. That's now those 3 minutes 4 times a week or 4 minutes 3 times a week to get your 12 will feel like a lifetime, because that's a long time to be in what I call the pain cave. But that's all you do. And you can work up. You should be moving frequently, but movement is more important than exercise.
Interesting. Okay. Interesting you say that, because a long time ago, I was actually given that same guidance by some, ironically enough, I don't know if I want to use this one, because a physical therapist friend, and, he said at that time, it was before I had my bariatric surgery. And he said, Ron, at your size, if you have a hearth on your fireplace, just go to that hearth and stand up and sit down 20 times.
Mm-hmm.
He says, you're lifting a lot of weight. Right. So that was just, now he was in great shape and he died in his 40s. So I don't know if I want to listen to him.
Yeah, that's exactly it. You will work up to everybody's different. They're always, everybody has different fitness levels, different goals and stuff like that.
Or lack thereof.
And whatever it is, you will reap the consequences of your movement one way or the other. But you don't. It's not everybody needs to run a triathlon. Not everybody needs to do that. But you do need to move frequently if you want any longevity at all.
I'm going to ask you a quick question because Josh already told me I'm out of time. What are your thoughts about pickleball?
I love it. I've never seen it. I've never played it, but it finally got people from teasing me about CrossFit as the new cult. So pickleball is the new cult. I don't know anything about it, but everybody just says it's funner than anything that they've done, and they get addicted and they just drink that Kool-Aid and they're gone. So I'm looking forward to.
I'm not sure the drinking of the Kool-Aid is what makes them feel so good, but that's a whole different story. Thanks for coming in. I appreciate it.
Oh, my pleasure being here.
As always, I ask, set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. Big thanks to Josh and Sean who are engineering us today. And of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.